Hi, welcome to the first District 5500 online training for club treasurers. You can start and stop this presentation at any time, just like you can any other video. You can also go back to it at another time. It will remain online for you. Or if you wish to download it to your computer where you would not need to have internet, you can do so. As you go through this training, please jot down any questions that you may have and send me an email, dvg@rotaryd5500.org, and I will answer your questions as soon as possible. As a treasurer, you will manage your club's finances and ensure good financial stewardship. All club treasurers have similar responsibilities. I would recommend strongly that you start preparing several months before you take office. Work with your current treasurer. He or she may be able to help you through the process and even give you some tips that they use. Always separate your club's charitable and operational funds to be sure that proceeds from fundraisers are used to support charitable activities. If any fundraisers are intended to benefit specific service efforts, you may also want to create a separate project account. Here are some of the duties and responsibilities of the treasurer. Please be sure that you review this list carefully and always make sure that you report your taxes, federal, state, and any other taxes on time. So let's look over this slide for a while. Now let's move ahead. Club treasurers need financial controls. Always make sure you have more than one signature on checks. Always make sure you're reviewing statements from the bank. Now, updating your signature cards can take some time, so I recommend that you start it prior to July 1st. And again, always make sure you submit tax forms in a timely fashion. Be sure that you have your budget approved before July 1st. My recommendation is to look at the budget from the previous year and look and see what the actuals are. This will give you a good idea of what your budget needs to look like. The IRS 990, again, is due by November 15th. Extremely important. Budget templates can be found in many locations, online, in Microsoft Office, and you can also find it on Rotary.org. This will help you to set up your budget. QuickBooks, however, is being used by many clubs now. The online version is very versatile. It also has a budget feature, and you can generate reports very easily using QuickBooks. There are certain extremely important budgeted items that you must have. One would be your RI invoicing, district dues, and then enough to send your president-elect to PETS training, office supplies. You can see the list here. This will help you put together a good budget. You need to make sure that your member list is up to date because the dues that you're going to be paying are based on the amount of members that are in your club. Be sure that the email addresses of the club president, secretary, and treasurer are accurate so the information can be sent to them. And last but not least, send out the club invoice by June 1st and December 1st and have a due date of July 1st and January 1st. You really don't want to be late on paying these club invoices. If your club has a license to use Club Runner, you can make your membership changes right in Club Runner by adding and deleting members. Also, you must choose to synchronize in Club Runner, and that information will be synchronized with Rotary.org. Club Runner is used exclusively throughout District 5500. If your club is interested in Club Runner, which is not a bad idea, there's also a light version that's less expensive It has a few less features, but it gets you a start and will help you generate a really nice website. Let's now talk about District 5500's website, RotaryD5500.org. You can find a lot of information on this website, including org charts, a calendar of events, archived district newsletters. Also, you can find information about RILA, RI, Right to End Polio. It's all available on the RotaryD5500.org. One of the reasons why I bring up the district website is that you can also add or terminate members from that website. You can update information about your members, and it's pretty easy as long as you have a user ID and password. So when you go to the district website, RotaryD5500.org, you click on the top right-hand corner where it says Member Login. So you say, I've never logged in before, or I can't remember my password. As you see on the screen, you can log in with your email address, make sure it's typed correctly, and then if you forgot your password, it will send you a mechanism to go back in and change that password. Or if you're a first-time user, you can select New User. Okay, so now you're in Club Runner. What do you do next? Well, up in the right-hand corner, next to where it says Log Out, because you are already logged in, you'll see something that says Member Area. You click on there. You then go to the tab in the blue that says For Clubs. This is where you will add a new member or change the status of a member or any other information that you wish to do. Typically, it's your secretary who takes care of all the membership information. However, as a treasurer, you need to be aware of some of this information. Here are some tips that we recommend you look over, especially because a simple error could take a long time to correct. So let's look at these tips. In Club Runner, you can do an activity called Synchronization. I strongly recommend that you do this periodically. It will check the information from Club Runner and make sure that it's correct in RI and vice versa. If perhaps you find a member with 2 RI numbers, that can be a serious problem. Be sure to call RI as soon as possible to get it straightened around. Club bylaws need to be reviewed frequently, if not yearly, to make sure that they actually resemble the type of club that you have. There have been a lot of changes at Rotary International with the different types of clubs and also different types of dues. I recommend that you seriously consider spending one of your board meetings reviewing the bylaws and making sure that they're the way you wish them to be for your club. For those clubs that are involved in both district and/or global grants, there are some financial requirements that you need to adhere to. First and foremost, do not disperse funds until your grant application is approved. Maintain a separate grants bank account. That's very important. Always have 2 signatures for any disbursements. And also, retain your account records for a minimum of 7 years. And I highly recommend you put them in the cloud or somewhere where you know they can be protected and not on an individual's computer. Reconcile everything monthly and make sure that all your board understands what's going on with these grants. So what do we do if our club is audited? Well, the first thing you don't do is you don't panic. Make sure you have everything in order as far as your disbursements, your revenues, bank statements, canceled checks, everything that applies to this grant. List any of the physical assets, and if there is a problem or misuse of funds, be sure to report it to our district as soon as possible. Now I'm going to talk about a topic that we don't like to talk about, and that's called risk management. All of our clubs plan events and activities. What happens if something goes wrong? How is my club going to respond to this? We need to be thinking about the options when we're planning these events and activities. Do we need to cancel the event? Do we need to modify it? Maybe we could get another organization to share the risk. But these ideas should be thought about prior to the event taking place. Things have changed quite a bit these days. Although conducting business with handshakes or spoken agreements may be common in your area, Rotary strongly recommends using written contracts. Involve a legal professional, someone in your club, someone that you know that knows how to work with contracts, can read and understand them before you sign them. Keep all legal documents after an event in case of a liability claim. RI also urges clubs to obtain professional legal and insurance advice about liability protection. Just recently, some of the ruling has changed in Arizona about having alcohol at your event. Please be sure you understand the rules and regulations. Rotary International has a website which will talk about the liability insurance, but you need to understand these rules before you organize your event. Now let's switch gears a little and visit Rotary.org, which is Rotary International's website. Rotary.org is Rotary International's website. It has a lot of information on there that you may want to peruse at some point. But first you need to go into Rotary.org, My Rotary. And that allows you to conduct club business quickly and efficiently, and it assures that Rotary has the most accurate and up-to-date information for your clubs. Now don't worry, if you don't have a user ID or a login password, you can set that up on this same page. It's pretty easy. In addition, this user ID or login information may be different than the one that you use on the district website, or it might even be different than the one that you use on your club website, and that's okay. Just try to keep them straight. Now, if your email address changes, be sure that RI knows about it as soon as possible. Now that you're into Rotary.org, My Rotary, you want to go into the tab that says Manage, and you want to slide down to where it says Club Administration. This is where you can do updates for your club. You can view your daily club balance. You can look at the contributions and recognition points. You can also look at your club goals, which are very, very important, and see where you stand on the progress. You can update club data. You can update your personal information. This is a very, very important area on this website. Okay, so now you're into club administration, and as you can see, you can look at your club invoice. You can edit any kind of invoice preferences. You might want to add or edit or even remove members here. You might also want to update your meeting details. Let's say you've changed the date or the time. Your mailing address may have changed. But here's one that you may not think about. Edit vendor, partner, or organization. If you are currently using Club Runner as your vendor, this is where it needs to be designated. This is extremely important so that information will flow in both directions when you're synchronizing information from Club Runner to Rotary International. Before we end this training, please be sure to add your name into the drawing. The rules are in the email that was sent with the links to this training. Mention TT 101. We are now coming to a close for this training session. We have gone through a lot of information, and I'm sure that you have some questions. Please send them to me, dvg@rotaryd5500.org, and I will respond to them as soon as possible. Thank you so much for attending this training, and I would appreciate your feedback. Thank you.